Hello, 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 everybody. How are you doing today? Welcome to a brand new episode of Conversations with LaDonna, Evening Edition. I missed you guys, and it feels so good to be back to chat with you. I want to thank you for spending your evening with me if you're watching this live. And for those of you that are going to catch it on the replay, I thank you as well. So thank you so much. And remember to like, comment, and share the video on your social media platforms. Hey, Auntie, thank you for tuning in. So like, comment, feel free to share this video on all your social media platforms. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, your stories, just go ahead and share. I appreciate your time with me this evening. And remember to place a comment in the comment section. Today, my guest is producer, director, and talk show host, Chundria Brownlow. Now, I am very excited to speak with her this evening, and we're going to talk about her new short film, Dare to Love, which is right in time to premiere online this weekend, Saturday, February 13th, right in time for Valentine's Day. So this film was also produced under her new production company, Chundria Brownlow Media LLC. So let's push those hard buttons and let's welcome Chundria Brownlow to the show. Okay, we are connecting, everyone. I'm very excited to have her today.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure to meet you. Let me see, look like I'm a little, there we go. I can't see the top of my head there. All right, awesome. How are you doing this evening?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate your platform today.
Yeah, definitely. You have been busy promoting this film. I've been watching. That's so good. I'm so glad you're getting traction and getting
Mhm.
attention for this film. So I'm very excited to have you here. As I was stating in the intro, you know, I have done so many different things that you're a woman that wears many hats. You're a director, producer, and a talk show host. So it's very exciting to talk to you about what you do as a woman in this industry and your short film. So I want to go back just to talk about how we connected and the power of social media. So I was on Clubhouse and I came across your profile. And then so I went over to IG and then I saw that you were looking a place to talk about your film. So here we are. So I want to just shout out to social media for everyone that's trying to connect with individuals. Definitely a wonderful tool. So I'm glad to use my platform to talk about your film.
Thank you.
Definitely. So I want to, before we start talking about your project, I like to get a chance to know my guests so the individuals that are watching can know a little bit about the woman behind the film. Guys, remember to go ahead and like, comment, and share this film, this project, what we're going to be talking about today. And also go ahead and you can share this episode we're doing to your social media platforms. Hello, everyone. Thank you. So I know that filming is your happy place, but what else brings you joy?
My family, creating, my really good friends, I'd say those are my top three things. Cooking good food. I enjoy
Oh,
cooking as well.
okay. What's your favorite dish?
Probably gumbo. I made some gumbo today. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay. Now you're from the north. The gumbo sounds like somebody that might have some time in Louisiana. Where did the gumbo come from? Well,
Well, my parents are from Mississippi, so
okay.
I have Southern roots. And then when I have an older sister, so after they had her, they made their way to Chicago. So yeah, but my story started in Chicago, but my parents were high school sweethearts, and they met in Mississippi.
That
So
is awesome.
that southern upbringing.
You know,
I'm
we
a
have a
city
lot in
girl.
common because I'm born in Chicago, but I was raised on a farm in Mississippi. So my family did the same thing, migrated from the south to the north, but no one taught me how to do gumbo. I missed out on that. Um, which is one of your fondest memories, your fondest childhood memories of spending time with your dad in the studio?
I would say, my father worked, my late father worked at a news station for nearly 40 years. And so that was a big part of my childhood is my dad working for a news station. And I would frequent the station, not like weekly, but like a couple times a year. I had an opportunity as a child to go down to the station. And then fast forward, I would end up interning at that station, but that's another story for another day.
Oh, that's
But at 12, I remember going with him. He picked me up from school and he was like, I'm gonna go downtown and get my check. This is how old school it is, before
yeah,
the world of direct deposit. So we go
yeah.
downtown and it was right before the 4 o'clock news show. And so I'm in the studio and I remember like seeing the lights and the camera operators and the control room and like all these elements. And it just really made my heart sing to like be so inquisitive about like, how does all of this work? How does media work? I wanted to be a meteorologist as a kid.
Oh, wow.
So to see the meteorologist not being in front of the map, the digital map like we see on television,
Yeah.
to instead I saw him in front of a green screen holding the clicker and he's like, then there's a monitor. So it's like all those little details and those little elements I started to, pick up. And I was like, I had 1,000 questions, but I had to be quiet in the studio. And I distinctly remember being like how, like, you can't talk in the studio. I'm like, how is all that? So from 12 years old, I've always been so curious about how media worked. And that sticks with me to today. That's what sparked.
That's awesome. So we're talking about your father. I want to sidebar, and I see my father has joined, so I want to say hello. He said hello. Hey, Daddy. Thank you for tuning in today. And I know you mentioned your late father, and I did see in your timeline your father recently passed. I want to honor your father just by recognizing him. And I knew that he was a very important part of your childhood and inspired you to be or started or planted the seed to the woman that you are today. So I think that is just wonderful that you can carry on his legacy.
Thank you.
Yeah. What advice would you tell your younger self about love and life?
I would tell my younger self to focus on the things that are most important. I think we can all relate to having periods in life where you focused on, you made a bigger deal out of things and they had to
Mm,
be, I put a lot
absolutely.
of energy into the wrong relationships, as a teenager, as a young adult woman, I spent a lot of time you know,
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
unnecessary battles and love and life and, lamenting over, the things like you don't want to take things for granted when you're older, but in
Right.
younger, you have it. It's pretty easy to take things for granted. But yeah, I would tell my younger self to focus on the more important things in life, which is family.
Yeah.
Focus on your career and your goals. Focus on getting your money right. Focus
Get the
on getting your credit right.
bag. Absolutely.
And focus on self love. I beat myself up a lot in my teens and young adults because I wanted.
Yeah,
Sometimes you get so disappointed when you're not where you are, but always a perfect time. There's a time and a place for everything. And so sometimes you feel like I should be where? Who's to say that this is where you're supposed to be? If I
absolutely.
could look back 10 or 20 years, I could remember thinking like, why can't it be like this? But
Yeah,
now 20 years later, I'm 39 now. I understand. Like I had to go down this pathway to get to where I am today. I wouldn't change a thing. So
absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good thought process. Brittany Jackson said yes to what you're saying.
hey, friend.
Touching a lot of hearts. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are speaking with my guest. She's a producer, director, and a talk show host, Chundria. Am I saying your name correctly?
It's okay, Chundria. You did
Chundria. Yes.
good.
So today we're going to talk about getting to know a little bit about her past, and we're going to eventually get around to talking about her new short film, Dare to Love. So guys, just make sure you stay tuned in to the end of this show because we're going to definitely talk about her project. And at this time, you can definitely like, comment, and share this video on different social media platforms. So you recently posted on your IG that you owe it to yourself to become everything you've ever dreamed of being. Tell me what that means to you and how you apply that to your journey.
I apply that because I'm much more intentional. In my 30s, I was much more intentional versus say my 20s, where I have the same goals.
Yeah.
I want the same things, or I wanted the same things in my 30s that I wanted in my 20s. I just wasn't intentional. And so to be 25 and feeling like, I have all the time in the world, it'll happen. You just carry
Absolutely.
that optimism, but without the work, and you know, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
You could be motivated all day, but if you don't take action, and how is it going to get done? It's not going to magically get done. And so in my 30s, I do feel like I owe it to myself to put in the work. Now in my 30s, I've put in the work and I see the fruit of my labor.
Yeah.
So that's what that means to me. That means that I'm going to be so intentional about what I want. I'm going to go after what I want. I owe it to myself, because if you want something for so long, I mean, for so long, whatever that
Yeah.
goal is, if you want a house, like if you want a house, and you talk about this house for 10 years, like I'm going to get a house. I cannot wait to get a house. If you're not working on your credit, you're not saving that down payment, you hadn't even talked to a realtor or a lender, where's this house coming from?
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like setting these empty goals, I feel like can create anxiety in us. It can
Yes.
create disappointment. So if I know I'm not working toward buying that house, but I keep talking about this house, I'm not working toward it, I'm not getting it, but I keep saying I'm going to get this house. So it's like the same way I apply to my own dreams and my own goals as they expand over the years. I'm going after what I said I wanted, and a lot of the things that I wanted, I've accomplished. So
Yeah.
then I set new goals, loftier goals, bigger goals, more amazing goals, and I go after it.
Absolutely. I love that. And you have to be intentional. You have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent in order to be successful. So that is awesome. Now, you say you started at 12 with your father in the studio. Is that when you started dreaming even of being in the entertainment industry where it comes to creating your own content? When it's for instance, your film, when did you decide I want to act or I want to uh, do production in that area?
I had the spark for how media worked at 12. And then I would say through my teen years, I was just always the kid in the family who recorded everybody on the home video, like, hey, you say something in the camera. I played like my playing with my friends was pretending to be a media personality, like, hey, you're listening to WCFS radio,
I love
and so
it.
that was how I played as a kid. But I actually and after my senior in high school, I enrolled in the High School Summer Institute at my college, Columbia College here in Chicago, and they had a summer institute, high school. It's a program for high school students, and you could take whatever class. You could take photography. I took a video production class. Absolutely loved it. It was the most amazing summer ever. And so because I took the class, I got college credit. So
Nice.
after the class is over, I met with a counselor, and they were like, would you like to go here, and then apply these credits to your degree? And I was like, yeah. So I made a very smooth transition into college.
Nice.
I didn't I mean, I wasn't really lamenting over ACT scores or what college am I going to. And that's why I feel like I'm in the right path, or I'm in my
Right.
right field, because it was so easy. It was just, the path literally, like, as I took a step, the gravel was just laid down right in front of me. So to go to school for media production, to go to school for TV production. But that's where I really started to come into my own, where I really started to have visions of what I would be in the future. Now, fast forward, I graduate, and then, like a whole sea of grads every year, you're looking for a job, you're looking for an
Right.
opportunity. And there weren't a lot. There weren't a lot of opportunities out there in the news. So I decided I was going to start. This is how it started. This is how I had no intention of ever doing anything for myself. But this moment, a year after graduating, passed. I'm in a whole new sea of whole new grads that I'm
Yes.
competing with for one, two, or three jobs.
Right.
And so I decided that I was going to launch my own show. And there was a show
Nice.
back then called Flair TV. I was like, I'm going to do this show so that I can have some experience to put on my resume. That's all I wanted, was
Yeah.
something to put on my resume so that I could get an opportunity. I mean,
Absolutely.
if I really processed that, like, I'm trying to become validated. I'm trying to allow somebody else to tell me that I can be a producer, that I can be a host, that I can be a writer. I'm waiting on somebody else to tell me that I'm good enough to do that, because when they give me an opportunity, and I didn't like that. So
Right.
I launched the show, and that's what it was for. So that's what started the independent journey, was me saying I'm not going to wait around for somebody to hire me. I'm not going to wait around on somebody to give me experience when I create it on my own. And then the thing that I create ended up giving experience to other people. Now I have camera people that are working on the show that I created, and they're using it to get experience. So
Yeah.
that's
Isn't
the
that a
beauty of
blessing?
it. The blessing is just, it's not about your path. It's about the people around you, and that's what makes the world better.
I feel like I'm hearing myself speak when you're saying that, because that's how I started my show in quarantine. So I did a show back before, and I said, I want something to have on my resume. And here I am doing my show. And I think what people can take from that is, if you want something, go for it. If it's not out there for you to apply for someplace else, create it on your own. And I
Hmm.
think we hear that across the board consistently, especially in the entertainment industry, is create your own content and show people what you can do. And the way America is now, is so much out there for you to do. And I just want to congratulate you on following your dreams, on looking at what was in front of you and taking the time to say, this is what I'm going to do for myself, and applying the skill set that you learned while you're in school, what you learned while you were at the studio with your father. And now here you are in over 100 cities with your show. And I think that's just so commendable. So I just want to congratulate
Thank
you.
you. Thank
I think it's
you.
important to recognize when people are doing something and striving and being successful. I think that is awesome.
Thank
I,
you. I appreciate it.
yeah, I see people saying, love this, so powerful. Yes.
Zara and Brittany.
Yeah,
Hello,
thanks
ladies.
for tuning in.
That's my
Hey,
squad there.
hey, squad. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Definitely, we can all take notes and apply this in any area of our lives. So, what advice can you give someone that is thinking about hosting their own show?
Do it. Don't wait. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Take a piece of paper and a pen and write down ideas. Create content that's authentic to you. Don't
Absolutely.
feel like you have to follow the trend of what everybody else is doing. Talk about what you care about. Talk to the people that you care to talk about. Pick the topics that mean something to you. Don't follow the crowd.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself about what kind of talk show you want, what type of guest you want, and literally take action. There's so many platforms out here that, I mean, you have social media, interview people on social media. You have YouTube. YouTube's been around for so long now. Like,
Yeah.
there are no excuses as to for anyone. If you're thinking about starting a show, don't don't overthink it. Start it.
Just
Reach
do
out to
it.
people that you know. When I decided to get serious about the talk show journey, I made a post on Facebook, and I was like, hey, rebranding my talk show, looking for guests, referrals are welcome.
Yeah.
I was flooded with
Yeah.
I was flooded with contacts of this person. She's great. She's this. She's a that. She's a this. He's a this. He's a that. He's a speaker. I
Yeah.
mean, he's an entrepreneur. I mean, and then I probably, for a good year, I relied on social media to help me find guests. Or if I was
Yeah.
looking for something specific, like, hey, I'm looking for someone in skincare to talk about like healthy skin,
Yeah.
blazed with all kind of people, because why not? Why
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 not?
wait? There's literally no reason not to do it.
Well,
Do
Brittany
it.
said you are always taking risk, obviously, right? Because this is where you are. You
Always.
have to take a
Yeah. She
chance.
knows. She knows 1,000%, hands down. She knows.
Yeah.
I don't wait. I jump and I go and I do it, and she knows. That's my friend.
That's awesome.
She knows.
So as guests, we of course love all of our, as hosts, we love all of our guests, right? Because everyone brings a very interesting story to share with us. Is there any show, that topic that's been most memorable for you?
Um, Topic or show that's most memorable. I like to talk about probably the most memorable are the shows that helped me, you know. I mean, because
Yeah,
I produce content with the viewer in mind. So I always try to create content where somebody can either be inspired or learn something. It's a how to in a sense, you know.
yeah,
So shows like shows about health and wellness, like, you know,
yes,
I have fibroids. So I did a show on, you know, on ways to prevent fibroids or to get rid of fibroids because for women that have them, you know, that can lead to a lot of, you know, other issues. And
absolutely.
so
Everything I know.
not only was that a subject that was near and dear to my heart, but it's also a topic that it impacts women, especially Black women, you know,
Yeah,
all over the world. And so I would probably say that's the first one that comes to mind. It's just, you know, anything that will help a show like that that can help somebody, that can change
yeah,
somebody's life, that can change someone's health. You know, that maybe you saw this segment or you saw this episode, and like, you know what, I suffer from that. I'm gonna call my doctor, or I'm gonna try what this guy is saying. I'm gonna try. I had a doctor on the show, and he's like, I'm gonna try what he's saying. I'm gonna contact that doctor. You know, I'm gonna
right.
take a better look at my health because we all want to live. I just want to help people be the best versions of themselves. And if my show, one segment on my show can do that, then you know that those are the memorable ones for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's like I'm talking to myself. My platform has been mostly with sickle cell because my son has sickle cell who just joined in. So I want to say hello to my son and many family members. So in the month of September, I had a lot of individuals on my show from London, from Canada, from all over that had sickle cell. And one of my guests was cured from sickle cell. And so she was able to share her journey. And I just think that's wonderful. Then I've had people with breast cancer and on the show as well. So I agree. When you're able to share information that can help others, especially when it comes to their health, that's something near and dear to my heart. So that's awesome. So now let's talk about love. They say you never know where you'll find love, the grocery store, the mailman, we don't know. Uh, But I read a post where you met your husband while working on a local stage play back in our hometown, Chicago. So tell me about the stage play and tell me how you met the love of your life.
Sure. I met my husband working. We both were part of a local show adaptation of Dream Girls here in Chicago. He was working backstage as a carpenter, and I was one of the actresses, and I had about 2.5 lines. I would stretch to about five during showtime to maximize my experience. You know,
Nice.
it was a brutal period, but I committed, and I'm not happy about it. But you know, I committed to the show. I mean, I'll be 1,000% honest. I felt like it was a waste of time. But obviously, I was there because I was supposed to meet my husband. I
Yeah.
didn't get that till later. I was like, why am I even doing this? I can think of 1,000 things I could be doing right now. You
Like,
know,
why
while
am
I'm
I
in
here?
rehearsal for 5 hours for 3 lines. Like I could
Right.
think of way more things that I could be doing. But um, and so he was super cool. Ty Brownlow, shout out to my husband. He was
Shut up.
super cool, and I don't know. He's just, you know, that's one of the crazy things. You just never know. You don't know who you're talking to. You know,
You never
you
know.
couldn't tell me then that I was talking to my future husband. Thought
Yeah.
he was just the cool guy from the stage play that I dreaded going to rehearsals for 4 months of my life that I'm not gonna get back. But you know,
Right.
it's funny. So yeah, I met him at
Yeah.
a stage play.
I love it. So you recently celebrated an anniversary?
June 10th will be our third anniversary coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So both of you guys host talk shows. So how is it with you guys both doing some of the same things? You get to share, make very great memories. How has that experience been for the two of you that you both have the same type of interests and been able to create together?
It's been amazing. You know, we got married, and he was here in Chicago before we got married. So then he relocated to LA to be with the love of his life. Um, and so, I mean, when he got to LA, he was helping me with my show, you know, and which was great. Like, hey,
Yeah,
I need all the help I can get to, you know, build this platform, and he was running camera for me, and
Right.
being super helpful, and giving me show ideas, like, what you should do, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So fast forward, funny story, um, we were at an event, and just went to support a friend's event, and it was at like this restaurant, and he was like, I like this place. He was like, you should come here and do interviews in here. And I was all like, I would not do interviews in here. Like, I would not do interviews in here. And then he was like, I like this place. I would do interviews in here. I like the way the booths are set up. And I was like, you should do interviews in here. Then
Right.
do it. Like, start your show, and you can come in here and do it. For the record,
Wow.
started is just me being like, hey, you should start your show, and then just having those initial conversations, like, what would you call it? What would it be about? How would you do it? And then, I mean, he hit the ground running, like, just that little lighter, and then he's flourishing. He's doing amazingly well. So it's amazing share um to share an industry with him.
Yeah.
Because he gets it. Because I don't know how it could have been. I mean, I've been in relationships where the partner was not interested in media whatsoever, and it was just my
Right.
thing, and then sometimes it can cause resentment too. Like, your
Yeah.
partner's like, okay, you gotta edit all night, you got to cancel plans so you could go over here. I mean, you don't know
Right.
what's going to come up, but I can say, like, 1,000%, like, it's beautiful to even to talk about interviews. Like, this is what we talk about. We talk about pitches. We talk about
Yeah.
interviews. We work together on, projects, show ideas. I keep my eyes to the street for him. Like, oh, did you see this? Or he'll tell me something like, did you see this? They were in one of the groups. They were looking for people to do interviews. And so just to work together, to still have our separate brands, but to work so closely together is a dream that I just couldn't see. And you just, like I said, you just don't know. I spent so
Yeah.
many years with people that were like, kind of dreading my media life. Like,
Yeah.
oh God, here you go
Yeah.
again. Oh, you going to somebody's oh, you get that call like Queen Latifah is having a My Black is Beautiful event, and you just got approved for media credentials, and you drop everything. Yeah, I had a date with you for Friday, but I'm about to go downtown and meet Queen
Right. Peace.
Latifah. And interview Queen Latifah. It's Queen Latifah. Stop,
Right.
But sometimes people can have those. I won't necessarily call it an insecurity, because it doesn't mean it's an insecurity. It's just sometimes people just, I'm not into all of that. So I'm not,
Yeah.
and thankfully, even before my husband Ty decided to launch his own show, shout out to Word with Ty Brownlow. Before he even decided to do that, he was always 1,000% supportive of and understanding, and he gets it. But I think he just got it like 500% more once he started his journey. And
Yeah.
when I say he hit the ground running, he hit it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you asked, what advice do I have for people that may want to start their show? It's just do it. Don't
Yeah.
stop. Don't overthink it. Just do it.
Yeah. That is awesome. And I think for those that are listening, to hear that you definitely can find someone that is made for you. You just have to, let's just say, kiss the frog so you get to your prince.
I
And you
have
just
reached my limit.
say no more frogs,
Limit
please.
reached.
And she said, do it, don't overthink it. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to kiss the frogs to get to your prince. And I think the takeaway from this is don't stop at the frogs, because your prince is out there. And I see the glow on your face and the smile that comes on your face when you speak of him. And I'm so happy that you found that person that you can share your life with easily, because like you said, everyone won't understand the journey if they're not walking it. So that brings me to Dare to Love, because it sounds like you've experienced this. So let's talk about it. Now, obviously, the title, we know there's a romantic film because it's called Dare to Love.
Mhm.
But what can you tell us about your characters, David and Charisma's love story?
Charisma. David and Charisma. They're a little bit of a hot mess. And we love it. They are an amazing couple who are headed toward wedded bliss, and we kind of come into the middle of this engagement where we get to see them try to navigate through a common ground. I try to create not only a relatable story when it comes to whether you're single, dating, or what have you. I wanted to zero in on sometimes how there's lack of communication
Yeah.
when you're on your pathway to marriage. And even before you get engaged and you get married, you have all these ideas of what marriage looks like. And
Yes.
what that looks like is different for everyone.
It
I
is.
grew up in a two-parent household. My parents were high school sweethearts. So
Oh,
my ideas of what marriage looks like could be different from the next person. And there's no right or wrong way to think, what marriage looks like or what marriage is or what marriage is supposed to be. But
right.
I feel like all too often we don't generally have a conversation. I mean, who's on the second date? Like, what is your idea of marriage? What does marriage look like to you? We're not
Right.
saying that, in the honeymoon phase, we don't have those type of conversations enough. And so I feel like we end up navigating into territory where there's confusion, where there's
Absolutely.
miscommunication, where there's high expectation, where there's disappointment, and then that makes the relationship suffer. Then you wonder why so many people are engaged, and then next thing you know, they're not engaged.
Right.
Like
Right.
I was
Like
just at your engagement party. Like, what happened? You owe all of social media an explanation.
right.
So
Right.
and so I wanted to create a story that was obviously for entertainment, but more than anything, I wanted to hopefully this starts the conversation. Hopefully when you watch this, we all can see ourselves in one of the characters. Or maybe we could have seen ourselves in one of the characters, like, yeah, I used to be Charisma when I was 25, or you know what, I act a little like David sometime, and hopefully it will help people to cultivate better relationships romantically, but
Yeah.
also better relationships within themselves, because we're going to watch David and Charisma. I mean, David is an aspiring entrepreneur working to build his tech company, and Charisma is, a freelance writer, and she's got
Nice.
the googly eyes, and she is ready
Mhm.
for the happily ever after. She's ready for the life. She's ready to pop out babies. She's ready
Right.
to just go to Disneyland, and she's just ready for all of
Yeah.
that. But if you ask, like, whose idea of readiness is right? Who's is he wrong for wanting to focus his attention on his business? Is she wrong for being ready to start a family today? No, nobody's wrong.
Right.
Nobody's wrong. Nobody's, no, we shouldn't find disappointment in that. And so that's what the film starts. The film literally starts with us seeing them struggle to get on the same page, and then you have to watch the movie so you
Yes.
can see how they navigate through that. And the more important story is about self-love. It's the love that they share for each other, but it's more about self-love, because more often than not, we put our feelings, our needs behind the needs of others, or
Absolutely.
below the needs of others. Like, what you need is more important than what I need. So if I'm constantly pouring out to you, what happens when my well runs dry?
Right.
What happens when I have nothing left to give, and I
Right.
haven't been replenished? So if I'm watering you and you're watering me, we're going to grow just fine. But if all I'm doing is watering you and giving you what you need and feeding into what's best for you, but then my plants are dead on my end. And so what do you think happens when my branches are dead? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
love
Absolutely.
is tricky. Love is tricky. And
Absolutely.
so this story is it's a tricky one. It's a beautiful one. I enjoy writing it, and I also enjoy directing it and watching my actors bring it to life. So it's amazing, and I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited for you. How long did it take to write it?
You know what? This story was a part of a previous project prior to COVID, and
Mm.
then COVID came along, and then I didn't leapfrog fast enough.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and it was just kind of like I was just waiting for COVID to pack its bags and go, and
Right.
COVID is still hanging out. So,
Still hanging out.
it's a testament to me. I take my own advice. Do it. What are you waiting
Right.
on? Like, what if COVID go? What if we're with COVID for 3 years? Like, are you going to wait
Yeah.
3 years before you produce your film? And so, yeah. So what I ended up doing was creating a short film from the storyline that I had previously written, and just made it about this one storyline, this one couple, these two characters, and obviously the support of people that are around them. But it didn't take me, it took me, I think I wrote that series within about 6 or 8 months in
Okay.
2019.
Awesome.
So when I dusted it off and
Mm-hmm,
just focused on one storyline, it didn't take long, just a matter of
So
weeks.
when you first started writing it, it was a bigger story. So
Hmm.
you modified it for COVID. So that's the
Hmm.
thing. Another takeaway, everybody. Another thing that this woman has done, instead of putting it behind and not doing anything at all and letting the dust just pile up and say, I can't do this. She's like, I'm going to do it. We're in COVID. I'm going to modify what I've done. So that is just awesome. I just love the jewels that you're dropping because it's like there's no excuse. You figure it out and just make the changes along the way.
Hmm.
That
Absolutely.
is awesome. So what inspired you to write this love story?
I'm a big fan of love stories. I love love. I've always been like this. My mom is a big fan of love stories, so I got to give her credit.
Hey, Mom.
My mom will watch Lifetime love Christmas movies all year round if she could.
Yes.
So that was a big part of my childhood was those love stories.
Nice.
And then like even present day, like I'm a fan of like the love show, reality like dating show, Love is Blind,
Oh,
Married at
Love is
First
Blind
Sight.
was so good.
90 Day Beyonce, like that's my jam. Like, and what I'm looking for is to see the happily ever after. I want to see how you navigate through even the hardest experiences, but that the love is still there when the dust settles. I think that's what I'm really looking for to see if you pull through, despite all obstacles. So yeah, so that's what really inspired me to write the love stories because I love love. I love love stories. I grew up in love. I believe in cultivating love, and I want to help people cultivate it in their own lives.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. And people need to see that this weekend because a lot of people are having challenges during a quarantine with love. So they definitely need to stay tuned. And we'll talk about where they can see that.
And
Um,
as a filmmaker too, it gave me an opportunity to show positive examples of like even like Charisma in the movie Charisma has a sister that she's close to, and so showing that positive dynamic of two black women, you know positively getting along, leaning on each other. I mean, if you watch a
yeah,
lot of television, it can be a lot of chaos sometimes to get the
yeah,
ratings or to get the shows, a lot of bickering and calling each other out your names and all of
right.
those levels of disrespect. And I wanted to create a project that
Positive.
that was positive, that elevated black love, and that
Yeah.
elevated people.
That's awesome. I can't wait to look at it. So, for my actor friends that may be listening, talk to us about the casting process. I understand your niece is in the project. So, give us an idea how you went about finding, I guess, we know your niece, so the other gentleman, but we can talk about your niece because she actually went to school. So, it wasn't just handed to her. She put in the groundwork to deserve this space. Let's talk about that.
She did when she was when she decided to go to school for acting. She was like, I'm gonna go to school for acting, and when I graduate, I want us to work together. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, and obviously, we had big plans for her graduation in 2019, 2020 to put some projects together. Then COVID hit, and just everything got crazy. But we still have had our opportunity to work together, and she did put in work. She came prepared. She learned all the lines.
Nice.
And she did a great job. As far as the casting process, my husband, Ty Brownlow, was in the movie. My niece Morgan's, her love interest is her fiance. It's played by Glenn Mitchell. And I actually posted an ad on Backstage.
Okay. Backstage.
And
Okay.
then some people found the ad and shared it on other casting sites. So
Okay.
the main one I think I did was Backstage for casting, and then I think something like IG Models Live, and
Okay.
I posted it in a number of Facebook groups for Chicago casting. I
Okay.
think I posted it in 3 groups, and then once I cast, I took them all down.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was still out there, I was still getting submissions. The great thing about it is there is a sequel to Dare to Love. The story is
Mm-hmm.
not done, so I will be back in the spring to do it all over again. But yeah, so
Awesome. So where would people go to find out your castings? Would they go to your website or will you post them in those same places or maybe even Actors Access?
You know what? I have a page on my website, See Brownlow Media. I have a casting form where I'm always looking for talent because this is only the beginning for my company. I plan to create a myriad of film projects this year. I would like to go to different cities so that I can work with the other creatives, not just in Chicago. But
Yeah.
yeah, I receive submissions all over the world, even in Africa.
Nice. Yeah.
But I did Zoom auditions, and then we had once I cast everybody, we had Zoom rehearsals, and then everybody didn't formally meet. Well, I only filmed with your scene partners, so
Hmm.
it was a cast of 6, but the way I organized it was to keep everybody safe and COVID free. I had small productions. It was
Nice.
really maybe 3 to 4 people at a time, or
That's
4 people at a time, and different scenes, different time frames, and we shot it over the course of 3 days, and so we got it done. But yeah, if anyone out, any actor friends of yours that are looking for opportunities, because I am grateful. I know it's been a hard year with COVID, and a lot of productions have been shut down, which
yeah.
means there are less opportunities for production houses and things like that. So it does my heart so good to know that like I brought one more project to the entertainment scene,
Yeah.
one more opportunity for 6 amazing people to, get their act on.
Yeah.
And I plan to do it over and over and over again. So I ultimately would like to kind of have this amazing database of
Yeah.
remarkable talent. I don't want to have to cast every single time the spirit hits me. I mean, I could meet you and think of something like, "Oh, you know what? I want you to play," just from
Yeah.
meeting you. So, yeah, I think that the casting process it was a little much because it was so much to get through, and
Yeah.
in email, and then a word of advice, because I feel like so many people are seeking opportunities. There are people that don't have social media. There are
Mm.
people that don't have headshots. I mean, and
Okay. You have to have it.
I probably saw more than 40 emails of people that did not have actual headshots. And if
Wow.
you're not ready for headshots, get in front of a clean wall, a solid colored wall, even if it's on your cell phone, and snap a photo and then download one of these photo editors in your phone and brighten it up.
Yeah.
That would be better than like I got selfies in the car.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
got pictures where people were cropped out of it. It's
Oh,
like, I mean, come on,
come
come
on. You
on.
have to be professional if you want someone to take you serious for sure.
Absolutely. So
Yeah, you have to invest in yourself. I want to take the
invest in
time
yourself.
to say hi to Tammy. She's one of my followers. Thank you so much. I
Hi, Tammy.
appreciate you. And Angela, thank you, ladies, for tuning in. They always
Hey,
tune in. Thank
Angela.
you guys for coming back. We're talking to Chundria Brownlow, and she is a producer, director, and a writer. And we are speaking, and a talk show host. And we are speaking with her today about her new short film called Dare to Love, which will air online this Saturday, February 13th, just in time for Valentine's Day. So let's talk about filming. You cast your actors, you have your location. Now the actors are portraying these characters, and the words that you put on paper are now, you can see the actors breathing life into that. What was that like for you as the writer and the director to see that? Because we have it one way in our minds, and then you see the actors bring it to life. What was that experience like for you?
Sure. It was a two different experiences because as the writer of the project, it was really amazing to literally remember just typing these words up, and saying it over to yourself and making sure it flowed, and it felt good and natural and the energy was there, and then you have these actors who bring the energy
Yeah,
tenfold to those words. Was on one end was awesome, and then on the other end, as a director, um being able to tell them how I heard it in my head when I wrote it,
right,
or give
right.
them the backstory of this character, or really bring it home. Like, you are mad, you are heartbroken, you
Yeah,
are you are excited, and this is why you're excited, and to really like bring the story home, the backstory, and then see the change in delivery, just that, I mean, that's a testament to the professionals that I work with on this project. But yeah, it was really amazing just to see. It's like you're picking a daycare for your kid,
Yeah,
and you want to find a place that's going to take care of your kid. Yeah, they're not going to love them like you love them. They're not
right,
going to take care of your kid the way, but like this script was my baby, and I was very critical. It was very critical when it came to picking people who would treat it as such, who would take
right,
care of it, and picking people that will give life to it, but also respect it. Respect
right.
the time, respect the energy, respect the craft, respect everything that went into making it possible. And so that's what mattered, is that people took care of my baby.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a prideful moment.
yeah. That's awesome. And did you say it took 6 months to write it? How long did it take for you to write it?
It took 6 months to write the TV series that this is adapted from.
Yeah,
It was a
awesome. Like,
seven. It was 7 episodes of a TV series that I wrote, and then I just waited for COVID to go, and then this time
yeah,
around, I just pulled two characters
yeah.
out of that script, and then I built them like a house around I got a deck around those characters. I
Oh, that's
created so I
amazing.
kept the original two characters, and then when I modified it, I added supporting characters around them.
Awesome, awesome. Forever Lamar said, can't wait to see the project. Tammy said, congratulations.
Thank
Yeah, so this
you.
Saturday, we're going to talk about when, where, and how, but it's coming up this Saturday. Um, what was one of your most memorable moments on set?
Memorable moments on set. Well, us filming during a blizzard
Oh my
is a
goodness.
very memorable moment. We filmed January 31st, and I'm sorry, January 30th and 31st. So we made it through the 30th just fine. It were all day shoots, early morning, done by the afternoon. And then Sunday came, and they were like, warning, 8 to 10 inches of snow
Woo!
expected overnight and all of that. And, my mom was like, are you going to cancel it? Are you sure people are
Right.
going to go? And I'm like, I'm not canceling it, and then the space that I booked, even they emailed and were like, if you need to reschedule, so like you got all these things pulling you like you should, but
Yeah,
the beauty of the project that I just couldn't shake. Like I'm gonna get up, and my husband and I, we packed up everything, and we still went, and we still got it done. And I'm proud of that. Like I didn't have any
yeah,
actors cancel. We all got up and put our best foot forward. It made the day start slowly because
yeah,
we were getting stuck, and it was just a lot going on for the day. But I mean, we got it. We made up for lost time, and till we ended that day, with a complete shoot. So I'm excited that that was still a success, because I'm thinking like I'm launching this on the 13th. You
yeah,
create a production schedule. How that would affect the schedule if I had to push
yeah.
that back and pushing the production. So I've learned more about the business side of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I think I learned a lot. I know a lot about production, but the business of working in my own production office in a sense
Yeah, yeah,
is dealing with the money and the finances, and you're
yeah.
paying when you're doing it all. And so time is money. Like I've already paid for these locations. The show must go on.
Wants to go on because the money is gone. Was this a SAG project?
It was not.
No.
No.
Okay. So, what are you hoping that your audience takes away when they watch your film on Saturday, Dare to Love? What are you hoping they take away from it?
I hope that they take pride in supporting a fellow creative in this industry. I hope that they take pride in, supporting all of the creatives that acted in this project and who shared their art on screen. But furthermore, I hope that they, like I said, cultivate better relationships,
Yeah,
or encourage other people to cultivate better relationships, have more grace with people, because sometimes we never know what people are going through mentally.
absolutely.
You never know what struggle somebody has, and it's so easy to just, to be dismissive, or to be short, or be like, okay, I don't know what you're dealing with today, and I am not standing in line to figure it out either, because sometimes we don't always have the best communication skills. We don't always share our feelings. We don't always, say what we need to say. And, even during times like this where the world is crazy, so much is going on, COVID is still in effect. And so, I hope that it makes us a little bit softer when it comes to just giving people grace. I hope that it cultivates love. And
Yeah.
yeah, I hope that, and even for people that are dating or want to be married, maybe this could be maybe an eye-opening experience. Maybe this could ignite some conversations with you, with
Yeah.
your loved one, maybe that you've never had about, what does the future look like for you? What is, we were to get married someday, what does that look like to you? What is
Yeah.
our, what do you see when you know, just
Yeah.
having those conversations that sometimes we wait till it's too late sometimes to have.
Yeah. I was just talking to someone about that. So this is much needed project because people
Oh,
need to know about what they need to ask about when they are getting ready to get involved in the situation. You want to definitely make sure you're asking the right questions. So hopefully this film, and I know it will, Dare to Love, will help us in that way. So tell the audience when, where, and what time they can catch Dare to Love, your short film, this on the 13th.
sure. You can catch Dare to Love on Saturday, February 13th. It'll be on my website on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. at cbrownlowmedia.com/Dare to Love. You can head right to the website. There's a tab right there for Dare to Love. And there's actually a countdown on my website right now. So if you want to bookmark it, bookmark it. But yes, you can
Bookmark
watch
it.
the movie on Saturday. So I'm
Awesome.
excited.
So her name is in the information on my page, guys. So click her name. It will take you to her Instagram page, and on your Instagram page, your information is there for the website. Correct?
Yes.
Right. Awesome. So guys, make sure you do that. Support her. Give you something to do over the weekend because it's Valentine's Day weekend, and maybe you can dare to love yourself. So I read that you are dedicated to creating original content to promote more diversity and inclusion, and that you take pride in providing opportunities for people of color. Why is this important to you?
It's important for me to create opportunities for people of color just because, I mean, I'm a person of color,
Yeah,
I feel like as people of color, we are often overlooked in terms of opportunities. And so, I want to create more opportunities for us on screen.
awesome. Now, as a wife, a producer, a director, and a TV host, do you have any last words for women who are wearing many hats and who are striving for success and who dare to love?
Focus on you, focus on your self-care, and I feel like love will come. Your love is on the way to you and looking for you. And so in the meantime, focus on you, focus on self-care, focus on what's in your heart, journal, um,
Yeah,
and be open, with yourself and it'll come.
awesome.
Be optimistic.
Yeah, I love that. All right, tell everybody where they can find you before we close out.
Sure, you can find me at Chundria TV is my handle. You can also find me on my website, cbrownlowmedia.com. Please follow me and I'll follow back.
Awesome. And you have a show that comes on. How often does your show come on?
My show comes on in different cities at different times. So
So on
just
social media, do you have it a certain time that you put it on social media
nope.
or
Nope. Just
is that
when I do them, I put them out. Yeah, I don't have a set
awesome?
time.
All right. So remember, guys, each day is not perfect, but each day is a blessing. Try to find the joy in it and just enjoy your day and appreciate the moments. Chundria, it was a pleasure having you here. I wish you much success, and I hope to see you again soon.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in with me today. And I'm glad to be back with Conversations with LaDonna. Tune in on next Wednesday at 8 and don't be late. I'll have a rock star for you next week. So make sure you follow Chundria, go to her website, go to her IG page, and take the time to support her this weekend for her program, her film, Dare to Love. Do you dare to love? I dare you to love. Go out there and support her. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, wonderful Valentine's. Remember to wear your mask and stay safe. Thank you, guys. Oh, thanks, Daddy. Sharp and beautiful. Thanks, Daddy. All right, everybody. Take care. Until next time, I'll see you next Wednesday at 8. Don't be late. Oh, share the video on your social media platforms. Go ahead, share it. Bye.